Alright, the next thing we'll be doing now is to create our floors. Floors, the way you do floors in Revit is also the way you do lines. Everything in Revit is in line works. Floors, roofs, they are in lines. So when you go to architecture, you click on floor, just click on the center of the floor. There are two places, there's a drop down and there's floor. Just click on floor, then it will show you this line tool you see here. So the next thing you'll be doing is, if your floor is at 400mm or something thicker, let's say your floor is set to be at 300mm or any other floor, you can always come here, edit type, change the name of your floor to whatever, like 150 generic millimeter or 150mm. I can rename it to 150. Let's say I rename this to 150mm floor. Okay, then you press OK. Then if you want to edit the structure of that floor, the thickness of that floor, you come to this construction area, you click on edit. The edit button will show you the structure and the material. Look at this top region, structure and function, material, thickness. Then you come to thickness, you change this. If you're having something else other than 150, you change it to 150. Then you press OK, apply, then OK. Then I think we are good. Now let's create our floors. To create your floors, let's use the first one, the line tool. When you click on line tool, it will show you this sniping kind of. So where you want to create your floor is your external wall. If, for example, is your internal wall, all these ones, all this place, I'll show you the difference. If, for example, I create my floors on the external wall, let's say I create my floors, escape, let me use peak line. Let's say I create my floor, peak line. Let's say I create my floors on the external wall, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Don't forget, we'll still extend these walls outside, something like this. These ones, we'll extend it outside a bit, this. So let me show you something. Then let's say I pick this, just the external walls. And you know Revit will not allow you to create a floor if a line is intersecting like this. There should be cleanly joined like this. There should be in clean joints. There shouldn't be an intersection. So for us to trim that intersection, what we need to do is press TR, trim. Then you join, okay, this is joined already. Then you join this to this, it will be clean. This to this, it will be clean. This to this, it will be clean. This to this, this will be clean. Now if you notice, if you try to create a floor with this extra space, maybe you forgot to create a floor with this extra space that is here, and you click good, Revit will give you a problem. It will tell you that lines must be closely looped. It means lines must be in closed loop. So what you want to do now is, if you let's show me the place the loop is, it is showing you this place, this particular place. The lines need to join cleanly. So let's say we continue and we press trim, TR, you trim this to this. So now it will allow you to create a floor. So as you are seeing this now, okay, we've created this on the external face. If you open the 3D before 3D view, you see those lines, they are on. This is where we are drawing those lines. We are drawing those lines on this particular view. From here to this place is a DPC level. So what you are doing is this. Say for example we extend this. We extend this by, from here to here is 2850. So let's say we hold here, we extend it by 2850. Enter. They'll take it up, pin it here. You know, Revit won't still allow you to create a floor like this. It has to be in closed loop. So what we can do is trim this to this, then delete this particular line. So let's delete this one, then TR, trim this to this.
So I think this is looking for the entrance porch. So let's see how we can. This one is, we are not going to be doing it from the external wall. I just want to show you an example. So let's say we extend this again by what we are having here, which is about, for the entrance porch, always look at your reference material. For the terrace radar, we are having from here to here is 1 2, that is from this place to this place is 1 2. Then we have a 900mm door. Say 1 2 plus 900 is 2100, plus this extra space we are having from here to here, plus the thickness of this wall. So everything should be about 2500. So let's click 2500. Make sure it's at horizontal. If you mistakenly put it at an angle, then you press 2500. You can always change the angles. It's not looking straight. Just click here. It will show you the angle it's at. This angle is at 80 degrees. So let's change it to 90 degrees. Enter. It will be a straight line. So what you can do is join this to this. So escape. Let's delete this. Okay, they can hold this. If you don't want to trim, you can hold this and extend this to this. And yeah, okay, so this looks fairly okay, but if you click good, let me show you something. If you see this particular thing on 3D or any view, okay, the walls are in brick. So let's attach this wall to this level, your roof level. This is where this wall is supposed to be. The wall is coming outside above this reference plane. It's supposed to be at, let me open east elevation. It's supposed to be at this level here, but the unconnected height now is about 8000. If you click on one wall, you see the unconnected height to be 8000. So what we want to do is we want to connect this wall to this plane. So you can select one wall, right click, then select all instances visible in view, then attach it to your roof level. The unconnected height here, where you see your top constraint, is at an unconnected height of 8000mm. Just attach it to your roof level, then everything will drop down to your roof level. Now it's looking okay. You understand why this thing is in brick, because we are using Mansory brick wall, but we can change the structure of this brick to be plain, to be black, or whatever you want it to be. So at the moment, this Mansory block are said to have some kind of puffy pattern to it. So let's remove that pattern. All you need to do is click on one of these. When you click on it, it will give you the structure of this particular block, and you know this block are the same with every other block here. So just edit with just one. When you go to the edit type, go to the structure of this wall, go to edit, you see the materials, click on materials. Then you see two things. You know, if you're editing works, there's the graphical view and there's the render view, which is the appearance view. But changing the graphical view, this is black and white scale. So you see this foreground, there's a pattern fill to it, which is block 225 by 450mm. So let's change it to no pattern. When you click on no pattern, press OK, then press apply. This particular fill pattern that is with this 225mm block would be removed from it, so it should just become plain. So let's just wait for a little while for the fill pattern to none. So look at it at the moment, it has none. So if you want to also apply probably solid color to it, just come to solid color. Okay, at the moment it's set to be at black, so if it's put apply, you see this particular wall change to black. But note, this is not, if you render this particular wall black scale or whatever color you're applying to this graphical view, this graphical view is just the one you're going to use on your plan, on your elevations and all that. So this the fill pattern or the pattern you see on your graphical view is not going to be affected when it enters realistic view. So at the moment it's set to black. You can also come here, let's say we change it to pitch, and let's increase make it brighter or lighter pitch. If you change this to, okay, if you press OK, then apply, this black fill pattern you see at the moment would be changed to pitch.
So that's the way this one works. Let's wait. Now you see it has changed from black to that peach color we have, but we want it to be without a pattern, so we put no pattern, then okay, apply. So let's remove the colors we have on the blocks. So we want it like this, okay, then apply, then okay. So now it's without a pattern. So if you notice, this does not look right. The floor we drew is coming outside of the wall, is showing outside of the wall. There is a fix to this, but the fix, like I told you, if you use detail lines are view specific. Let's say for example, I'm trying to fix these lines that we are seeing here. If I go to this ribbon we have there, where you have the architecture, structure, steel, precast and all that, if you go to your modify, you will see something like line works. There's a line work here. When you click on line works, you'll see line styles. Let's try and use invincible lines. What does this invisible line do? It will remove all these lines. I use it to clean up my section if I'm doing sections, but for 3Ds, there's a way I put my floors. I put my floors inside I draw my floors inside the wall and not on the external face. So if you clean all this face, let's say for example you prefer doing it like this and cleaning all these lines. Yes, you've cleaned it on this view, but let's say you open your east elevation, which is your right hand side, you still see this line works. So if for you to these lines, the invisible lines you applied on your 3D that you removed on your 3D, those lines you removed on 3D is just view specific. It's specific to this 3D view alone. If you go to other views like your north elevation, your south elevation, or any other elevation, you still see the same line pattern. It will still remain there. So at the moment we don't want this kind of thing. So let's go back to our plan view. So if you go to ground floor, this is drawn at this outside. You have it outside. The floor is outside. Can you see it? Outside all this space. That's where we drew this in. So let's try something. Let's do another reference. Let's copy this. Copy. Then let's create a copy of this and keep it here. Then let's delete this particular floor. We've deleted this floor. Now let's draw this floor on the internal wall. So the floor, go to architecture, go to floor, then let's use line work. Let's draw this floor on the internal wall. Line work. So pick this. Make sure it's lapping very well with the wall. Once you see that blue check, it means it has lapped with the end of that wall. That's the end of that wall. So let's continue. This is the place we are trying to create now. The walls is running like this, then like this. So it doesn't show on the external face. So let's continue with the line work. So let's assume from here, the terrace area from here to here is about 2,500. So let's use line work. Extend it by 2.5. Pick that line, enter inside, make sure it's inside. If you draw it outside, it will protrude the way we did in the first one. So let's click here now. The line has cleanly joined. So we want to create the entrance porch area. This entrance porch area. So the lines are starting here about 2,850, 2,850. So let's extend this line by 2,850. Make sure you are seeing that box, something like this. That box is showing. Then extend this line. Make sure it's at 90 degrees. Then 2,850. Then enter. Then let's take it up. Extend it to this point. Then alright. So you know how Revit is. Revit will allow you to create a floor like this. It has to be in clean joints. It has to be clean. So let's use TR and let's trim this. TR. If you want to switch the trim dialog, go to your modify panel. You see trim. Let's trim this to this. So this place is clean. Now let's delete this particular line. You don't need to trim it. Just delete this one. Then delete. Okay, now so everything here looks clean. So let's click on this check, finish edit mode. Let's finish. Now if you look at this floor and this floor, what's the difference between these two? Let's go to the 3D view. When you go to the 3D view, this, let me pan this to this. This is the floor we just created. This was the one that had the external wall that we had to use line works to edit. Look at the walls showing outside, but look at the one we drew just now. The walls are inside, so you are not seeing the floors. The floors are inside, so you are not seeing the floors poking outside the face of this wall. So that's the way I prefer doing it. That's the best way to do it. So this particular one is not looking nice, but for some reasons, if you want to look at this in section view, this one, let me annotate this. Let's say this should be, let's assume this should be 1, and let's say this is 2. Okay, so if this is 1 and 2, and I draw my section line, I pick my section here, then draw my section lines. Sorry, I pick my section, then draw my section line like this. She's not looking right. Pick my section, then draw my section line here. Let's draw another one here. So now, if you look at this place, it has created a section view in your project browser. There's a section view now. There are two sections. The first one, which is this, and the second one, which is this. So in order for you to see this, just double click on the head of this section 1, 2 to take you to this view. This looks almost good on section because the floors are going through the wall, which is the way a section should look. But if you're working on section, you still have to clean up some things. Your section is mostly on detail line, because if you cut section in Revit, it's not going to be looking that nice, so you have to still use detail lines to edit your sections. So this looks better in section in a way, but section also needs extra detail lines than this, because alright, so if you look at this particular one, the floor looks like it's floating, it's not going through the wall, but there's a fix to this. You can actually fix this with detail line, which when we are getting to the section area, I'll be showing you how to edit your sections in Revit. So this looks not too nice in section view, but the both of them will still need to be edited in section. So I prefer using this particular style, drawing your wall, your floor inside the wall instead of outside, so it doesn't poke, it doesn't look something like this that we're having here. So we prefer to have something like this. So let's go back to our ground floor view. Now let's delete this floor. Let's delete this floor. Now this floor looks better. If you go to your, this is the floor you want to do, but don't need this building, you just need this floor. So let's copy this floor to this point. Instead of drawing the floor all over again, we can actually copy it to this point. So if I go to my ground floor view, and instead of copy, I move this like this to this place. So it has not lapped properly. So in order for it to make it lap, let's give us some space. You go to align, to your modify panel, you'll see align. Sorry, I double click this. So you'll see align. This is your align AL. Shortcut is AL. If you press AL on your keyboard, it will align this. Then you are trying to align this to this. So when you do this, you will bring this wall closer to this. So it has aligned this. You can lock it if you want. Let's say we lock this. Then if you bring this, you touch this line. You are telling Revit, you are telling this line that you want this line to be merged with this line, to align with this line. So when you touch this line, it has aligned properly. So this floor has aligned properly with this wall, because this wall is the same dimension with this. We just move this floor from here to this place back. Alright, so this is it. So let's delete this. So as it is like this, because you don't want to delete this elevation marker. If you delete this, you might lose your west elevation. So go to filter, this is your elevation view, check none, check the rest, just this leave the views there, just the text and the walls, then apply. Okay, so now it will uncheck all these ones too. It's just going to check this view. Now if I click on delete, I'll remove this. Let's delete this. Then it will delete this section 2 view from here. Look at the project browser, section 2 is now missing. Now we are working with just this. Let's delete this annotates. So now if you look at this floor on your 3D, now it's looking way better because we copied it well from the other side to this side. But now there's a vacuum space somewhere here. So if you look at your realistic view, there's a vacuum space here. This doesn't look right. Your floor is not going to float on the air. Your floor is not going to be floating on the air. So we are trying to put a dwarf wall somewhere here. Then this place will leave the staircase. This place will be covered by a wall, so that we'll hide this. Place. Then this other place will be covered by steps. There's a staircase here, so we'll leave this step here. We'll leave this place so that the steps will cover it. So let's draw a simple dwarf wall here and attach it to this. So when you go to your ground floor, we are drawing it at our natural ground level. So we are drawing it at our natural ground level. Let's pick on floor, architecture and wall rather. When you pick on wall, go to the center of this dot, then let's draw a vertical wall at 90 degrees and touch these other points. So you click on escape. You've created a floor, but this wall is at an unconnected height of 8,000. If you look at it on 3D, it's so long, it's not looking right. It's supposed to be attached to the bottom of this particular floor. So let's put the top constraint. What do you mean by top constraints? The top constraint is, do you want this wall to be constrained at this roof level, this roof level, if I click it, this is where all the walls are constrained to. Do you want this wall to be constrained at the ground floor level? Yes, that's what we want. We want this wall to be constrained at this particular level here, where these things are highlighted, this reference plane. So let's constrain this wall to this ground floor. When you click on it, you'll see top constraint. Just click on that wall. You look at your properties panel, you will see top constraint is at an unconnected height of 8,000. So let's attach it to your ground floor. When you attach it to your ground floor, it will create a dwarf wall here. So now this wall is attached to this, but it's not looking too nice. So let's join this to this. Let's join geometry. You go to your modify panel, you will see your modify panel here. Then click on modify panel, you will see join geometry. Look at, you are joining these two. You are joining the floor to this wall. So let's click on join. Let's join this to this. So now it has joined very, very cleanly. So let's do the same thing for the terrace of this building. Now let's go to the ground floor back again, or the natural ground level, because we are drawing it from level 0 and not drawing it from level 2, which is your ground floor. We are not drawing this floor, this wall from DPC level. We are drawing it from your natural ground level, which is your soil level. So let's click on NGL, go to your architecture, go to wall. Let's do the same thing. Select the center of this, then extend it at 90 degrees to this point. So if you notice, like before, it will be at an unconnected height of 8,000 millimeter. If I click on that wall, look at the properties of that wall at an unconnected height of 8,000. If you look at it in 3D, it is creating a very long wall in 3D. This is the wall in 3D. So we want to connect it to the top of this place, to that reference plane we did the way we did it on the first one. So let's look at this unconnected at the top constraints. Click on this place, then connect it to level 2. Now it has created this. Now let's attach this. Go to your modify, then join geometry, click on this, then click on the wall. So click on this. So the two of them are joined cleanly at the moment. Click on this, then this. Alright, so it has joined cleanly at the moment. So now if you look at it here, it's looking pretty clean now. So now the next thing to do is let us create our steps. For our steps, there are two ways to creating steps. Let's go to our natural ground level. If you look at this, there is wall, door, windows, components, and there's stairs somewhere here. This, what I prefer doing for things like this, to create steps like this, I prefer modeling the steps instead of using the default staircase in Revit. I prefer modeling this. Why do I prefer modeling this? Because if, for example, this particular terrace has a curved surface here, or it has a different form here, it is very good to model. It is very easier to model your steps that way. Or if, for example, I have a round wall like this, I have a round wall, for example, like this, then maybe I have, this is my building itself. Let's trim this. Let's split before we trim. Split, then TR, trim this to this, trim this to this, then let's delete this in. The staircase can actually be modeled easily if there isn't component. If, for example, I'm trying to model a step around this thing, I can just go to architecture and go to components, model in place, then go to steps. Just if it's too fast, just watch it all over again, or you slow it down. Model in place, click on steps, click on OK, then go to sweep, create a sweep around this place. Then let's sketch path. For the sketch path, let's pick this line. Let's say we are picking this, escape, let's say we are picking this to this place. Alright, so we are at natural ground level at the moment, so this is not right. We're supposed to draw our steps at the reference plane for this is supposed to be at ground floor level. Let me just show you something. So if, for example, I've done this and I check on good, then I double click on this. Let's say I'm using 3D view. Okay, 3D view for this plane. Okay, this is the wall, this is the floor. So if I want to do a floor round this place, a staircase round this place like this, I can just come here, get where this place is, then come here. This is just for reference purpose, just showing you something. Let's say I'm creating my steps like this. It's not going to be like this, but let me just do a rough sketch. Let's say I create my step like this, then attach it to this, then press good. The steps will be created round this particular place. So this is the step. If I go to my ground floor view, it has created a step round this place. That's why I prefer using model in place, so that I can create the step according to the form that is at hand. So the steps have been created. You've seen the steps now, so that's one of the reasons I prefer using that particular kind of step. So let's delete this. Go to your ground floor. Let's delete this. Okay, let's finish first, then let's delete. Alright, let's delete this. So if you want to there are two ways to this. Say, for example, you want to use this staircase tool here. You click on steps. When you click on step, you'll see on this properties panel, you see the type of step you want to use. We'll be using the monolithic steps, which is actually better for me. In my own perspective, it is better. So for this one, it's the base level is set to be at this. It's going up by we are just trying to do a normal floor that enters into your house, like the normal stairs that enter into your house. I prefer modeling those stairs. So if I'm using this one, let me say I change the riser to 150, then change the tread to 300, then run width. What do you mean by run width? The run width is from here to this place. That's the run width, from this place down to this place. So the run width is about 2850. Let me assume it to be 2850. So let's change the run width to 2850, then press apply, then OK. Then if you are moving it, once it gets to that triangle point, it means you are the center of this point. So when you draw a step from this center, it will be on it. These are the steps. This place is 150, 150, 150. This is 450. So if I click on check, it has created that step. So if I go to 3D view, I have that step created. Okay, this is not looking right. It's supposed to be flipped. Okay, let's flip this. Okay, let me check this. I think flip this to this. Okay, now it's looking fairly. If this is what you want, you can actually use this. This looks faster in a way. It looks faster in a way. You can try to do it like this if this is what you are trying to achieve, or if this works fine for you, you can use this one. But I prefer using the model stairs to do my floor. So this is 150, 150, another 150. You can always change the material afterwards. The material doesn't matter, you can always change it afterwards. This is the default material that comes with the stairs. You can always change it when you finish. So if this is what you like, you can go for this. You can try to do your step like this. If it looks fairly good, it looks really good actually, it looks okay, but I prefer using model steps. So let's delete this, or let me show you the model step here. You know there's a wall somewhere here. If you go to your NGL level, there's a wall somewhere here. This wall is the one that is hiding this floor at this right hand side, which is at this side. It's hiding this floor at this side from here to here. The way I do it, let's use my pattern of creating floors. So let's go to architecture. When you go to architecture, you see components. Sorry, I double clicked it twice. Double click again, double click again. All right, to come back now. So when you go to architecture, go to model in place. Don't click on this model in place. Use this drop down. When you click on this model drop down, this components, you see place a component and model in place. Just use model in place. So we are trying to model a step. So you look for stairs. When you see stairs somewhere here, click on it and press OK. It will show you step 1. Say OK. Now this is set at your natural ground level. Cancel this. The reference plane should be drawing the steps at our ground level. So let's cancel this at the moment. Okay, yes, we are at our ground floor level. This is our ground floor level. This is our ground floor level. So that's where we are creating our steps. Go to your components, model in place, then go to your stairs, and go to your stairs, then say OK. Then we are creating our stairs from this view. So let's go to sweep, extrusion, blend, revolve, then sweep. Click on sweep, then create a simple line. What do you mean by sweep? When you create this line from here to this place, the floor will follow that line. It means you are creating that floor according to this line I've created. If the line extends from here to here, it will create a staircase like from here to this point, something like that. So I hope you understand. It will create a staircase, something like that. So for now we are creating a sweep. Let's sketch path. For this particular stairs, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 stairs. Why is it having 4 stairs? If you look at this, and if you look at this particular project, it has the floor is at 450, but when it gets to this place, it's another 450 here because there's another step here that goes up to this point. So this point here is at 600. There's a step that goes up. This point here is at 600. So this floor from here to this place is going down. This terrace is as high as 600. So that's why there are 1, 2, 3, 4 stairs there. But in our own project, we'll be using just 450. Let's examine all the old grounds at normal 450 so that you can understand it better first before you start creating different levels in a building. Because when you cut this particular project in section, you'll be seeing this floor as another layer here, like it's higher than this particular, it's higher than your living room. The dining and kitchen is higher than this. The bedroom is elevated, it's higher than this. So that's the difference. So let's just leave it at this. So let's sketch path. check. So now let's double click on this. When you double click on this, go to your east elevation, which is your right hand side. Press open view. So the tread of this stairs is 300. Press enter. Then the height is 150. Press enter. Then another one 300. Press enter. Then another one 150. Press enter. Then another one 300. Press enter. Then take it down. The last one 150. Press enter. Okay, this is looking not okay. I think one is higher. 150, 150, that's 450. This is 400. I think there's a mistake here. Look at the mistake. The mistake is the level has changed from this to 400. So let's edit that back. Cancel this. Cancel. Yes. Now let's take our cancel. So this elevation mark, this section marker is the one we drew first. So let's delete this first. So this is perfect. So if you click on check, this is this finish edit mode. You click on finish edit mode and click it again. You've created your steps. So let's go to 3D and see the steps. The step is behind the house. So let's see what you have created. So okay, this is the steps you have created. So I prefer using this particular method of creating steps over the other method. So this was the first one. If the first one looks nice for you, if you prefer using this method, yeah, you can always go for it. But you can also use the other method to create. Let's finish this to create steps. So the next thing we'll be doing for this particular project is to apply our windows, doors in Revit. So let's save your project, save and continue. Okay, save and continue. That's for the next class. We'll be applying windows and doors in Revit.